君らはこの力生とし君らに選ぶ余地はない君らはこの力生とし君らに選ぶ余地はない君らはこの力生とし君らに選ぶ余地はない
Come on, Welt spam alt, Welt spam alt? Alt spam Welt is really satisfying. Really quick before we go back to the fight, I wanted to show you what I used to make it work. This way you can try it as well, and it's actually a lot more straightforward than you'd think. So we're gonna need 3 blessings, all from the hunt, and they'll let you loop your ult pretty much non-stop. The first 2 let you advance your action forward once you either defeat an enemy or on a break. And then of course we have the most broken one, energy regen when defeating an enemy. This is the only one that you must enhance so you get the 100% energy regen, but other than that, on your 6th and 10th hunt blessings, you want to pick the Star Hunter Resonance Formation so you can make Welt advance forward. You need to make sure he has the highest attack though, and not your Luocha or someone else. And finally, Perfect Aim increases your Resonance's max energy and its regen, so this way you can advance Welt forward a lot more. Okay, we're back against the final boss of Swarm Disaster 5, and I just want to say I think Welt is probably one of the most underappreciated characters. He's actually nuts for clearing this mode. I wanted to do this as a main DPS, so I wanted to do my boy justice. He definitely deserved it. By the way, look at this crit, 120, 488, just ridiculous. I'll show all my blessings, Curios, and Welt's build at the end as well, so you can have an idea of what we're working with. One of the main struggles I feel like everyone's having right now is survivability. These guys do so much damage, especially in the final phase, but the ideal with this team is to not even let them take a turn. And then with all of our blessings and the path resonance, we're advancing our action forward so much that we're just outpacing them. And Asta is here as well to give us more speed. You want a solo sustain. Honestly, Tingyun isn't even mandatory. You kind of just need Asta to give you more actions. But yeah, a healer and then maybe a second preservation if you really want the comfiness. But most of the time, you're really just trying to snipe enemies when they're at low toughness bar. So you get the action advance forward from breaking their toughness, or when they're low health, and then you snipe them with Welt as well. When you do defeat an enemy, you get that 100% energy regen when you upgrade it. So this whole thing lets you pretty much spam your ult on demand. It's actually crazy. And of course, Welt's ult is one of the strongest in the game. Maybe not strongest in terms of raw damage, but in terms of raw impact. It's got a slow, it's got an imprison, it's got the vulnerability. It's just so much, and it's all baked in his kit. The one problem is I didn't really pick any survivability blessings, so it does get dicey a couple times, but we should be able to manage because the enemies aren't really acting anyway. The more enemies that spawn, the better actually, because we get more weakness break and more action advance forward. So this is what Welt excels in. He pretty much controls the battlefield, and I think that goes really underappreciated or undervalued. We don't really see his damage multiplier as that high in normal gameplay. Of course, it's highly inflated here, but what he does really well that no other character can do right now is keep the enemies stunned, keep them slowed, and just attack way more than they can. Especially for this content where survivability is the challenge, reducing the number of actions enemies can take and increasing the ones you can is definitely really valuable. So I had a lot of fun with Qingque and Propagation, as well as Imbiber, Lune, and Propagation, but I think this one is even more satisfying to me. I don't know, making Welt as close to a god as possible just feels, there's something that's right about that. I think, yeah, Welt was my first 5-star in the game, and he definitely carried me through the early game, so he definitely deserved some love. By the way, if you are enjoying the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. I'd appreciate it a lot. I've been on the upload grind lately, and it seems like it's paying off, so thank you all again very much for your support. There's also one more thing I wanted to talk about. It's the Path of Elation, and there's this one blessing that converts all your, not converts, but it treats all your ultimate damage as follow-up attack damage. So you could cheese damage multipliers by using that, and then you get aftertaste damage. We didn't do it with this run because I wanted it to be more purely Welt's own multipliers, own yellow imaginary damage, and not the aftertaste. It just feels a lot better that way, to me at least. But yeah, you can see me sniping each of these weaknesses and then trying to go for the final hit. That way we get the energy regen, get the action advance forward again. There's just so much synergy here. The biggest weakness with the final boss is it's weak to imaginary, and also all the little bugs are as well. So that really lets us take advantage of that one hunt blessing. I'm definitely going to be making a Welt guide as well. I know I said I'll be making a Qingque guide, but I feel like these are characters that don't have as much information online. I don't know if it's because less people play them. A lot of people play Qingque. I guess it's because Qingque is a lot. Oh my goodness, ass almost got taken out there. That was close. But yeah, just like Qingque, there are a lot of things with Welt, a lot of unique mechanics, especially around his ultimate, that I feel like would be really useful information that I will definitely be sharing with you. By the way, I saw a lot of comments asking how to unlock propagation, but you pretty much just need to play through. You need to unlock the skill tree, about like 3/4 of it, not all of them, but some of them do require you to complete difficulty 4, which is a little bit unfortunate because difficulty 4 is not easy. The first time I did it, I didn't even get past the first boss, I think, and it was Cocolia. I was surprised, and I just got one shot. So it's definitely not easy, but if you use the right strategy, like with the March 7th Remembrance build that I made a video on, you should be able to clear it no problem, since that was designed for the hardest difficulty. But yeah, to unlock propagation, you need to unlock the 13 path chapters by progressing through that skill tree. But it does require you to go into, at minimum, difficulty 4 to get some of those challenges done. Yeah, a little unfortunate, and I wish they didn't gate that behind a difficulty, because it's hard. Like, difficulty 4 is a lot harder than I think people make it out to be. But yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think there's another way to unlock propagation. You just have to progress through that skill tree. Anyway, we are almost done here. I'm actually curious as to how many turns Welt got versus the enemies. I'm pretty sure he moved way more than them. Like, I'd say it's probably closer to 30 versus 15, maybe double the enemy turns, maybe even more. But no, don't go back and count. Don't do that. You'd be counting for quite a bit. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's take a look at Welt's build. He's level 70 out of 80. We have some pretty good relics on him. We have Kafka's Light Cone. Also gives him some more speed. The erode effect isn't really useful, but the damage effect as well as speed is helpful. 777, and I'm out of resources to get him up. So I don't have that trace unlocked, which is really important. I would run 4-piece Wastelander, but my 2-piece Musketeer is better than that. So I have him on mixed 2 sets. And then I had him at E0 for the longest time, but I just had to click the E1 or else the red indicator wouldn't go away. But other than that, we have the Curios really quick. None of these, I was fishing so hard for the Eidolon Resonance increase by 1 because his E2 lets him regen energy every time he does a hit with his talent. And it's a lot of energy, but in the end, we don't really need it because we have all those energy regenning, or we have that one blessing that gives us 100% regen when we defeat an enemy. But yeah, you can see everything that we have here. We really only need to enhance the 1 and not much for defensive utility. The weakness break efficiency is helpful, but again, you don't need any of this. That's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching again. I will see you next time.